Today we're delving into something absolutely crucial. 5 benefits UK pensioners are missing out on. If you are an older UK pensioner yourself, or perhaps you care for someone who is, well, this is designed entirely to help you. Let's get right into it.
To start, I want you to picture a staggering number: £24 billion. That massive sum is just sitting unclaimed in the UK benefit system right now. And it's not because of fraud or some terrible red tape disaster. It's simply because nobody actually applied for money that they were always fully entitled to receive.
Now, before we go any further, please do hit subscribe. What we're doing here is a complete 4-part guide to the vital support that most UK pensioners just never claim. If you're over state pension age, this explainer is absolutely essential. So subscribe now and let's get started. The real-world impact of missing out here is honestly staggering. Research from Policy and Practice shows that the average household missing out on their entitlements loses roughly £5,000 every single year. Let that sink in for a moment. Over 5 years, you're looking at a $17,000 loss, and the absolute most overlooked of these benefits, that would be council tax reduction, pension credit, and carer's allowance. But here is the crucial trap that catches so many people out. Qualifying for support and actually receiving it are two completely different things. There is no government department that's going to automatically send you this money out of the blue. You have to know it exists, and, crucially, you have to actively ask for it.
Let's just clear up 2 major myths right away. Myth 1 is that benefits are only for pensioners who are severely struggling, and myth 2, that tax allowances are only for wealthier retirees. Well, both of these groups are completely wrong, and unfortunately, both are leaving their own money right there on the table.
For today, we're going to cover 3 vital areas of support: pension credit, attendance allowance, and finally, council tax reduction.
Right, let's start with part 1, pension credit. And specifically, we're looking at both guarantee credit and savings credit.
Now, pension credit essentially tops up the income of pensioners on lower incomes. But a lot of folks assume having even modest savings automatically rules them out. It doesn't. Its real power, though, is what it actually unlocks for you. If you qualify, it acts like a golden passport. It opens the door to a full council tax reduction, the warm home discount, crucial NHS help, and a completely free TV license if you're over 75. It is a genuine game changer.
Honestly, the single biggest mistake people make is assuming they earn too much without actually checking. And checking only takes a few minutes. There are fantastic, completely free online calculators from Age UK, Citizens Advice, and Turn to US. They'll tell you right away if you should apply, and there's absolutely zero obligation.
So that is pension credit, what we call the foundational benefit. Now, let's pivot and explore the single largest unclaimed benefit in the entire UK system by total value. Moving on to part 2, attendance allowance. This is a weekly, entirely tax-free payment designed specifically for personal care. The scale of this one is just incredible. Around 1.1 million pension-age households are missing out on this, which leaves roughly £5.2 billion unclaimed every single year. Even the government's own official figures showed that 1 million eligible pensioners simply aren't claiming it. Now, people often hear the phrase personal care and immediately assume it's only for the extremely unwell. But here is the vital detail. Attendance allowance is absolutely not means-tested. Your income, your savings, your pension, even the value of your home, they are completely irrelevant here. It's simply for anyone who needs help with daily tasks or perhaps needs a bit of supervision just to stay safe.
There are 2 rates for this allowance, with the higher one reaching over £110 a week. If you run that over a full year, it comes to well over £5,700. And remember, that is paid directly on top of everything else you already receive, and it's 100% tax-free.
But it goes well beyond just the payment itself. Provided you meet the state pension age requirement, successfully claiming attendance allowance can actually trigger an increase in your pension credit, which in turn can lead to an even higher council tax reduction. It creates a wonderful ripple effect of support.
To get this, you'll need to fill out a claim form called the AA1. Now, it is quite detailed, but you certainly don't need a solicitor to sort it out. Brilliant charities like Age UK, Citizens Advice, and Independent Age offer totally free, expert help to complete it, and they can even help you gather any supporting evidence you might need from your GP.
Right, part 3. Let's look at council tax reduction. And please remember, this is a completely separate application.
So many people naturally assume that this reduction is just automatically applied if you get pension credit. It isn't. National take-up currently sits at only 70%. That means a huge 30% share of eligible pensioners are simply paying more council tax than they are legally required to pay.
Now, there's a very straightforward 25% discount available if you live alone, which, sadly, many widowed pensioners simply forget to claim in the midst of everything. Separately, there's also a means-tested reduction based on your income. But remember, neither of these is automatic. You absolutely must contact your local council to update them on your situation.
So that covers the absolute largest gaps in the system. But it begs the question, are you also missing out on transferable tax allowances and those smaller hidden bill reductions? Take a moment today to check your eligibility.
Today, we're looking at 5 benefits UK pensioners are missing out on, and we've got some absolutely crucial ground to cover, so let's just dive right in. So far, we've covered pension credit, attendance allowance, and council tax reduction, right? Okay, so now let's move on to a specific tax allowance that almost nobody realizes they can actually share with their spouse. It's called the marriage allowance, and it's brilliantly simple. Basically, it lets a lower earning or even a non-earning spouse transfer a slice of their unused personal allowance directly to a husband, wife, or civil partner who does pay tax. Now, this is especially relevant for couples where one partner has little or no income. You know, maybe they're living mainly on the basic state pension, while the other partner has a workplace pension or a part-time income that's actually being taxed. It's like finding a missing puzzle piece that perfectly fits your household's finances. By transferring that allowance, you can reduce the receiving partner's tax bill by over £250 a year. Now, sure, £250 might not be a massive headline number, but here's the best part. It's a saving you get automatically every single year once you've got it set up. But there is an important caveat here. This isn't necessarily right for every single couple. If the higher earner is a higher rate taxpayer, the allowance generally can't be claimed. So it's definitely worth taking a minute to check your eligibility properly before you apply. So why do so many people miss this? Well, it's because of what we call the assumption trap. A lot of retired couples simply never think of themselves as needing to claim anything tax-related. They just assume that whole side of things is only relevant while you're out there working full-time. And here is an absolutely crucial detail. Marriage allowance can often be backdated for previous tax years, if you were eligible back then but just never claimed it. That means some couples are actually owed a lump sum right now, completely on top of those ongoing savings. How great is that? All right, let's move on to benefit number 5, the smaller bills. This is really a bundle of smaller, everyday savings that quietly add up when you stack them all together. First up in this bundle is the warm home discount. This essentially takes a set amount right off an eligible household's electricity bill each winter. Now, it's usually applied automatically if you're already on pension credit, but honestly, it is always worth confirming that directly with your energy supplier just to be absolutely sure. And depending on your specific circumstances, things like winter fuel payments and cold weather payments can add even further support during those colder months. And to be totally clear, that's support on top of the warm home discount, not instead of it. Oh, and definitely don't forget about the medical side of things. If you're in England, prescriptions are already free once you hit 60, right? But for dental treatments, glasses, and other NHS costs, having pension credit can unlock additional help that a lot of folks simply don't realize is linked to their claim. Now, look, none of these individual things are going to totally transform your finances overnight. But when you stack the warm home discount, free prescriptions, NHS cost help, and a free TV license all together, well, the yearly total suddenly becomes genuinely significant. It's really the exact same pattern we've seen running through this entire explainer. Each piece looks pretty small on its own, but combined, over a full year, they represent a meaningful chunk of income that's simply sitting there, totally unclaimed. There is one crucial bonus worth mentioning for homeowners specifically, though. If a partner passes away, senior-related council tax discounts and reductions do not always transfer automatically. Reaching out and contacting the council directly protects the surviving partner from a really unexpected and frankly unwelcome jump in their bill. Okay, let's make this real with a quick case study. Picture a widow. We'll call her Margaret. She's 74, living all alone in Yorkshire in a home she owns outright. She's getting by mainly on the basic state pension and a pretty small workplace pension. Well, when her situation was actually properly reviewed, 3 distinct things came to light. First, she'd never applied for pension credit, even though she likely qualified for a small top-up. Second, her council tax was actually still being billed as a two-person household months after her husband had passed away. And third, nobody had ever even screened her for attendance allowance, despite her having some ongoing mobility problems. Now, none of this required her to move house or change her lifestyle at all. Literally just 3 forms later, her weekly income was meaningfully higher, her council tax bill dropped immediately, and a brand new weekly attendance allowance payment began landing right alongside her pension. And here is the ultimate takeaway from Margaret's story. She wasn't gaming the system, not at all. She was simply claiming what she had already been entitled to for months, possibly even years, without anyone telling her. That's the exact same pattern behind almost every single story like this one. So that's the marriage allowance and the smaller bills bundle brought to life. Now the question is, are you ready to stop leaving money on the table and turn these insights into one simple action plan that you can start this very week?